So some of the major pests that we fight are early on in the year, and that would be some of the diseases and bacteria that can affect seedlings and really small plants. And the innovations in seed treatments continue to improve our ability to go out and know that when we plant that seed in the ground that we're going to be able to get a viable, healthy plant up and growing. As the season continues on, obviously diseases, leaf diseases are a major factor for us both in corn and in soybeans. So we've gone to using a fungicide application on both of those crops. The goal is, we know those are yield robbing factors that can be out there. Our management practice and strategy has always been, we want to control everything that we can. We know we can't control Mother Nature. That's a huge determinant in whether we're going to have a great crop or a poor crop, but we want to control all the other aspects, making sure the fertility is in place, but ultimately then it comes back to when we do have diseases, or when we have grasshoppers or aphids in soybeans or Japanese beetles or anything that provides that kind of pressure that would hurt that crop. We want to manage that the best we can by using insecticide applications when necessary so that we can control that aspect of our crop.
Pest management means a lot of different things to a lot of different growers. It can mean managing an invasive weed species to an invasive insect that we're trying to control. But the other thing we need to be mindful of is that there are beneficial insects there that we want to maintain and that do provide benefit to the crop that we're trying to grow. So we encourage our growers to really get out in the field and scout for whatever issues they have going on. Some are very in tune to soil sampling that's been done on that particular piece of ground for centuries, really. And some are just learning pieces of ground that they're renting. So it's extremely important to get out and learn about the ground that you are working on and that you are trying to grow that crop in, understanding the soil portfolio, soil pH, weed species pressure, different weed species that are present in the field. And we have to remember, across the landscape, you can have different issues in different portions of that very field. So being in tune to what's going on in the land that you're stewarding is key.
I feel confident in handling the weed pressure myself. When it comes into the insect pressure or the fungicide needs, I rely on my CCA. We have not used cutworm control for many, many years, and we haven't had to go back and use a rescue treatment. Some of this came when we were in EQIP programs where we couldn't put on a pesticide, an insecticide to kill things, unless we scouted and there was evidence there. So that kind of opened up our eyes to where, you know, we don't need a blanket approach for peace of mind.
So at Valent, we're very fortunate to have a robust portfolio that offers multiple effective modes of action on species that we're going after. It's extremely important that we understand the crops that we're growing and the hurdles that we're trying to overcome when putting together practice management plans.
In north central Missouri, we fight common pests like the Asian beetle, the spider mites. In our corn, we'll fight cutworm, we'll fight the grubs. So we've been able to, through the UAVs or through our foliar passes or even through the planter applied pass, and our burn downs and our chemistry passes, multiple passes, but we've been able to integrate fungicides and or pesticides. There's always that balance of keeping those beneficials out there that are helping fight the good fight for you, you know, and then at some point, well, we may be getting overloaded. We got to knock down those consequential pests that are really going to have an impact on yield. And that's one of those situations that we have to have trust in our agronomists. We have to have trust in the chemistries that are available and those technologies that we can get out there when we need to. If we recognize that we have an issue and it's wet and we can't get a ground rig out there, well, now we have a new tool with the UAV. So it's just amazing the technologies that we have today and the chemistries that can help us get there.